Hey, welcome to this webinar. Now, what I want to do is I want to make sure that this is extremely valuable information that you're getting. That's not just actually information, that it's a transformation. So, this high impact training, what we're going to do is we're going to get into it. We're going to show you the nitty gritty details of how you can apply this to your business today. So, I want to be respectful of your time. So, let's go ahead and jump into this.
All right, we're at my computer now, and we're going to get into this. This is the Revenue Accelerator system, and this is extremely important. You're not going to want to miss this because what we're going to do today is we're going to get into some of the biggest things that are going to help move your company forward, move your business forward, so you can get from point A to point B and hopefully get that revenue growth accelerating. Now, what you're going to see here today is the exact process that I do with my clients that pay up to $10,000 a month to figure out how to grow their business. This is how smart CEOs scale their business. So I'm going to show you that. We're going to break it down, and you're going to walk away with a transformation and not just information. So you're going to be able to put this into action today. That's the goal of this video, of this high impact training. So in order to do that, in order to teach you, what smart CEOs do to scale their business, how they do it with digital marketing, there's some things I want to cover first because this is different. It's different because I want you to max out your revenues. I care about your success, and my goal is to serve you better than anyone has in the past. So with that being said, this is also different because in the world of business, there's lots of companies that seem to think that the traditional way of business growth is the only way, and that's just not true. And what I mean by the traditional way, that's having a sales guy going out and cold calling, sending direct mail, doing outbound activity. These are expensive activities, taking people golfing and trying to land deals, trying to build relationships over the long term to sell a product or solution today. And that's just slow and expensive. You're paying wages, you're paying expenses. And in this day and age, in the world of this technology, most people don't want to hang out and play golf for an afternoon if they don't know you. They got their friends. They want to hang out with those friends. They don't want to hang out with you or your sales team. So, and here's the thing. If you stay until the end, I'm going to make you a special offer because I want to help get you clear about how to move forward, how to overcome these obstacles, how to grow your business on demand. And that's really what this is about. So, right now, the big question is what's stopping you? What's stopping you from going out there? I mean, you know that having a salesperson go play golf, buy dinner, go out to events, go to trade shows, that those events just aren't converting into customers, and it's hard to justify the expenses. You know that. You've been there, you've tried it. So what's stopping you? And there's something I need to get off my chest. I want to tell you, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. And the reason it's not is because most companies are great at what they do. You care about your customer, you care about your client, and you want to give them the best work you possibly can. You want to be the best at fulfilling for them. You want to be their number one call to those people you serve. And that's great. That's fantastic. And that's what you need to be doing. But there's a big but here. You're not marketing specialists. And most people nowadays who call themselves great salespeople, all they are is people using 1980, 1990s NLP phone tricks trying to get sales. That's not a consistent way to grow your business. If you want to grow your business and you plan to do it by hiring salespeople, all that's going to happen is you're going to hire a salesperson, you're going to exploit their warm market, then they're not going to have anyone else to sell to. They're going to spend the next 6 to 12 months trying to find somebody else to build a relationship with to sell your product to, when you're better off probably hiring somebody in your company that knows somebody within the company that you're trying to sell to, and focus on building out a robust client acquisition system, something that you can turn on and off at the flip of a switch. But this isn't something that you should know about because it hasn't been your world. It hasn't been your center of attention. You haven't had to solve this issue before. You didn't do it in your previous job, in your previous career, or you haven't kept up with the technology as it's changed. It's common. There's technology overwhelm when trying to implement digital marketing strategies. There's no question about that. It takes a serious time investment. There's no question about that. So if you don't have time, or you have technology overwhelm, it's common, it's not your fault, but that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you and help get you through this so you can get more customers and better customers, preferably your ideal customers tomorrow. So I understand. I understand why you've never tried this or had success. Like I said, either you didn't have the time or technology or overwhelm, or you have tried this and just the technology got the better of you. There's so many options out there to do each thing. There's 3 or 4 or 5 different softwares you could use. Each company you deal with a different software, and it's incredibly frustrating, incredibly hard to build these things, and everybody's saying something else. And another reason, if you're dealing with these companies, a lot of people are still on, maybe the mid 2000s train of SEO. You need to get search engine optimization for your business. Well, yes and no. It depends where is that number one? Is that number one getting on AdWords? Because with a lot of businesses, it takes a lot of time to get that SEO, to get that search engine optimization. It's 3 to 6 months minimum. So you want to get on Google, you need to start doing the content marketing, making the video blogs, the written blogs, doing posts on LinkedIn, and all the different social networks, coming up with a Facebook group. And it's going to take 6 months to see a return on that. 6 months. You need to do it consistently, day in and day out. That is an incredible amount of work for something that you're not going to be able to measure the ROI on for 6 months. And a lot of companies will try and put you in that direction because they make their money helping you do these things. And don't get me wrong, a content management or a content creation plan is critical. And it's critical to get your message out there and build those long-term assets. But if you need to go from point A to point B now, and you're just starting to implement your digital strategy, you need to see that return on investment. I'm going to challenge you and say that's not the best option. That's not the best option. Content marketing. Not if you have budget for ads. So this is what I want to ask you. So if you had a blueprint, a clear path to get you from where you are now to where you want to be, a clear path, a proven system. So with this key, would you finally do it? That's the big question. You have this clear path, you have a blueprint, you know how to get there now. Nobody's shown you before. I understand why you didn't, but now, if you had a clear path, would you do it? Especially if you can measure a return on investment based on your ad spend. So your business development goes from randomized to predictable. You have a systemized approach, so your whole business development plan doesn't leave if you lose an employee or two. Nobody's so critical that your business will stop running. In fact, that's the real test of a business, isn't it? If you're the business owner, you're part of the executive team of a client-based business. If your business lasts 3, 5, 10 years after you leave, that's the real test of the systems that you put in place. So think about this. A lot of companies tend to put in talent acquisition systems, human resources, prior to client acquisition. But again, I'm going to challenge you and say that everything happens after client acquisition. Without getting clients in your business, you do not need talent. You do not need accounting. You do not need pretty much everything to do with your business if you do not have clients. So this is one of the most important systems to your business. It needs to be systemized because the reality is closing key accounts helps accelerate revenue growth. And what I mean by that is every service company, or most service companies I should say, have 3 to 5 key accounts that if you land those accounts, that will double your revenue. And that's an amazing thing. But what happens after those 3 to 5 accounts are gone? You need to keep your business going. You need to keep accelerating your revenue growth. So there's one issue why you haven't figured it out. With all of these things we've just discussed, there's one key issue. Because what I want you to think is that everything is available right now on YouTube. It's like there's different pieces to different jigsaw puzzles that you're trying to fit together to build out a client acquisition system, to systemize your growth. And there's one main issue I believe that you haven't figured out. And it's just the world has fed you bullshit. The world has fed you bullshit. That's really what it comes down to. People are telling you it's easy. It's not easy. In fact, I would say it's simple, but not easy. Simple is a measure of complexity. Easy is a measure of work. It's hard. It's not easy. It's hard, but it is simple. And I'm going to show you how simple it can be. So remember, there are only 3 ways to make more money in your business. That's it. There's no magic button. There's 3 ways. 1, you can increase the number of your customers that you have. 2, you can increase the frequency of their purchases. Or 3, you can increase the average order value. So increasing the number of customers. Well, when you start a business, most people start off selling to their warm market, family, friends, colleagues, people that they already knew. As you use up that warm market, you need to start to convert cold market clients. So you can increase the number of customers. Or number 2, you can increase the frequency of their purchases. So maybe you have a bunch of upsells here. And number 3, you can increase the average order value. Maybe you're jacking up your prices because you're delivering more and more value and you're delivering a premium service. So increasing the average order value. So these are the 3 ways that you can make more money in your business. Now, remember, the world has fed you bullshit. And here's why. So, this is the Revenue Accelerator, our flagship system. Now, I want you to look at this. I want you to look at this pyramid very closely. And I want you to think, where are you? Are you right now having a hard time closing new business? Are your sales struggling? Your revenue growth struggling? Or are you surviving, but you have unpredictable sales? You're really waiting on one-on-one meetings and not really sure if anyone new is going to contact you tomorrow or any of your clients are going to want upsells. Or are you thriving where you have predictable sales and really right now you're just trying to get to accelerated revenue growth by building out a world-class team and refining your systems? So where are you? And what I want to do here with this training today is I want to help you get to the next level. And I think that's a good goal. I'm going to help you get to the next level by the end of this training. So make sure you don't go anywhere because this is going to be extremely valuable. Because I don't want you frustrated and mainly selling one-to-one with little to invest in your growth. I want you to be able to validate your market demand. And I don't want you to be exhausted even though you're generating results and lacking a system-backed approach. Right? So I'm going to help you get to the next level today. That's the goal. So let's go over it. Now, I want to get ultra clear here. And I want you to think about creating a market of one. And what that means is that when your prospect looks at your company versus your competitors, your company is the obvious choice because none of your competitors quite fill the void that you do. You're not directly competing with any of them. You've successfully created a market of one, meaning minimal competition. And if you think about your business like that, instead of trying to open up restaurants in downtown Calgary or another service rig company, businesses that are commoditized, think about it as open up a business that has low competition. But not no competition because that gets even harder to sell it with a big education process, but low competition. So, and what you need to do that is you need to have a unique solution. Your proprietary process, your unique solution that only your company can deliver. And I'm sure you have that if you're watching this. And we also have it. It's the Revenue Accelerator Roadmap. So I want to go through this so you have a clear understanding of it. Because this is the foundation to almost any client-based business. You master this and your revenues will follow. And here's what I mean by that. There's 3 steps. You can see it on the left-hand side. There's the foundation, systemize, and the growth engine. So starting at point A, your key clients. Do you know who your key clients are? I mean every detail about them. You need to know who your ideal client is, your key client, in forensic detail. And you need to understand them better than they understand themselves if you can. You need to be able to define the problems that they're having in your own words better than they can in their own words. That way you can craft messaging that resonates with them and attracts them and repels people who are not your ideal client. And then orchestrate your sales and marketing to deliver that message, just like a spear, pointed and direct. And then optimizing for conversions, figuring out how to take them from a prospect to a client. And once you figure that out, then you can turn on the growth engine. And this is with targeted traffic, coupled with outbound activity to get more deals, to grow your business and accelerate your revenue growth. That's the Revenue Accelerator Roadmap. And that's how it gets you from point A to point B. One key part is a lead magnet. Because once you can figure out how to attract that client, how to say the problem they're having better than they can in their own words and provide that solution, that's going to become an irresistible offer to them. Focusing on things that are keeping them up at night and agitating those issues to be able to help get through to them. Now, what I want you to think about is how this is done. So everything starts at the lead magnet. So this could be an ad, and works through. So this is a digital system. This is what's called a sales funnel. And this is how it works. It goes from a lead magnet to a value page where you get an email opt-in, which brings them to a high impact training video, then to a survey where you can book a call to have sales close a deal. Now, let's just take a moment and run through these numbers, because this is where it all comes together. So let's say you run an ad and you get 500 clicks to this ad at $2 per click. So that means that 500 people landed on the value page email opt-in. And out of those 500, 5% give you their email address. So that means you got 25 emails, because that's 5% of 500, at $40 per email, because you had 500 clicks at $2 a click. That's $1,000. So we just spent $40 per email. Now, let's just say out of those 40, 20% of them finished watching your high impact training. So that means 8 people completed the training and filled out the survey. And if we just take a low number and say 15% of those people who fill out a survey, they get on a call and you close a deal. So that means out of those 500 clicks, you got one deal. So that means you spent $1,000 to get a sale. Now tell me, or write this down, would you spend $1,000 to get a sale for your business? And would you spend that over and over? If you knew for every $1,000 you spent on digital ads that you would get a client, would you continue to do that? That's the big question. Does your business work like that? Or maybe you have to optimize it to get $500 per sale. Or maybe you can do it at $2,000 and outbid all the competition. So it's all about your business and how the numbers work with your business. So let's take a quick look at that. Now, this page is very simple. CAC to LTV, 1 to 3 minimum. Now, I left this blank for a reason, and I want you to focus on this. A traditional business will look primarily at P&L when they're investing. Now, what I want you to think about here, so CAC stands for your client acquisition cost, and LTV is the lifetime value of that client. So whatever we spend on a client, however much we make on a client over their lifetime. So there's a rule of thumb, which is a 1 to 3 minimum. Now, I want you to think about this for a second, because most companies aren't thinking about what they're going to make tomorrow. They're thinking about what they're going to make next year, the year after, the year after. And that's, evaluating a business based on discounted cash flow. So it's all about the potential earnings in the future and applying a multiple to that. So number one, if you're thinking about what's your return on ad spend tomorrow, that's a losing mindset. And you don't have to look any further than the stock market to see how companies get evaluated based on that type of thinking. In fact, Warren Buffett and Jamie Dimon both came out and said stock market people should not be giving forward guidance on their earnings calls because they're thinking too short term. So if Warren Buffett is saying that, one of the best investors of our time, and Jamie Dimon, one of the best investment bankers of our time is saying that, perhaps we should listen. So back to this. So your client acquisition cost. So that means if this ratio is 1 to 3, that means that 33% of the value of that client over their lifetime is spent on marketing and sales. That is your minimum. So you can spend up to 33. This is a rule of thumb. 33%. Now I want you to think about this. Are you spending 33% on that? And if your answer is more, well, maybe you want to see if you can dial that down a bit. Get it to 33%. Maybe that should be your goal. But if your answer is less, and perhaps drastically less than that, well, let's consider this. So 33% is considered a minimum rule of thumb. So what if it was 1 to 4? So you're making 4 times the amount as you're spending on your sales and marketing. Well, that means that you'd be spending 25% of the revenue of that client on that. Okay, that seems maybe that seems high to you. Oh, 5 to 1. Now we're getting to some pretty big numbers. 5 to 1. That means 20%. You're spending 20% of revenue. Maybe you're sitting here thinking, Justin, this is crazy. I'm not spending 20% of my revenue on sales and marketing. That's retarded. Okay, well, I'm going to challenge you right now. I'm going to say 6 to 1. If you're spending 6 to 1, that's 15% on this. You're spending 15% of revenue on getting a client. Does that $1,000 number still work for you? And would you do that all day long? Now, if you're thinking you don't want to spend that much, well, I challenge you, and I'm open to being wrong right now, but look at any company, any publicly listed company that's gone from, accelerated their revenue growth, got exponential growth in their business without investing at least 15% in sales and marketing to attract new customers, to attract new clients. These are almost laws of physics. Well, why don't they apply to your business? If you don't believe me, go look and come back to me. Show me that I'm wrong, because I can't find any company that has. And I don't mean a small business that went from making $1,000 a month to $10,000 a month. I'm talking about economies at scale. So hopefully that wraps up client acquisition costs and lifetime value. So to be able to do that, to continue to get clients for $1,000 over and over and over again, you need traffic. You need reliable traffic sources. So the way to do that is to tap into Google, tap into Facebook. Facebook has 2 billion users. I think the average user is on there 20 minutes a day. LinkedIn, YouTube, and some other platforms. So there's options out there. And the reality is, your ideal client, your prospect, is spending more time on those platforms every day than they ever will with your sales guy on the phone with him, cold calling. And they do that consistently. And that's how you build momentum, by tapping into these people consistently, reaching your target clients, your ideal prospects consistently. Build momentum, close deals, close more deals. Once you see it work, you will believe. It's all about building that momentum. Now, the thing is, you haven't done this before. I get that. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help you and help provide mentorship, get you from point A to point B, because every business gets stuck along the way. That's why businesses build highly specialized teams, people that are just excellent at executing, that make sure that they get unstuck and that they're not stuck for very long, because time is money and you need to focus on your growth. So mentorship is key. Not only that, having support to help diagnose issues you're having. Have support for your team, leadership, accountability, things that are critical to success. So at this stage, you have 2 options. You can either go slow or you can go fast. And if you want to go slow, that's fine. Maybe your company is at a size that you're happy with, and you just want to kind of keep going steady at that. That's great. That's great. You're probably not a good fit to work with us. We work with companies that want to go fast, that want to accelerate revenue growth. Or your other option is maybe you want to do this, but you think you can do it on your own. And that's great. And I wish you luck if you want to figure it out by yourself. Meantime, your competitors are going to be focusing on getting these results as quickly as they can because it's all about having an advantage, having an edge. And if it takes you 2 3 years to figure this out and they've implemented it inside of one, well, that's an easy business case. You just you lose your competitive edge. So if you want to go fast, that's who this is for. That's who it's for. So now what I'd like to do is invite you to check this out one last time. Think about it. Where were you on this pyramid? Where are you? Are you struggling? Are you surviving? Are you thriving? Or do you have impact? Multiplied sales, accelerated revenue growth. That's really what it's all about. Because you don't want to be stuck trying to validate market demand for very long. You need to get off to the races and out there making money, scaling up. Business is like a tree. You're either growing or you're dying. So, at this point, this is your option. I'm going to invite you to book a call. And this is completely risk-free for you. And the reason is because I want to make sure you're getting the most value possible. So if you want to talk about how this is customized for your business, how this will work with your business, maybe you have questions, concerns, then there'll be a short survey. Fill that out, book the call with me. And two things are going to happen. One, if it's a good fit to work together, if you want to work together, then we can discuss that. And if it's not going to be a good fit, I'll let you know and try and point you in the right direction to get you where you want to go another road. Because we're not meant for everybody. We're not. We're meant for companies who want to scale their business and build out a system, a systemized approach. That's what it's all about, to scale. Taking the randomness out of your business and moving it to predictable growth. So again, this is completely risk-free. If it's not a good fit for either of us, then we'll let you know. But we'll point you in the right direction so you can leave with some good information and hopefully get your business to the next level. So click the link. It's around here somewhere. And I look forward to talking to you soon.